Hi guys, Mulati is here.
Eric?
And Zilani Mulati, thank you for tuning in to the Couples Show, where we get to talk about marriage, courting, and
relationships, life. Yeah.
Okay, so now we've been doing a series on 10 lessons in 10 years. We've been married 10 years. Okay, yeah. That in itself
Time has flown so
it's
fast.
amazing. We thank God. Okay, so now we're in lesson number
8.
Okay, lesson number 8.
Purpose and priorities.
Uh-huh.
Purpose and priorities. You know, it's as the more we continue being married, the more we notice the thing that's keeping us together is purpose and priority. More than the external things are important, but what's really happening between us and in our hearts and with God, the cord of 3 strands, purpose and priorities. So for me, I think in the last, and it's very practical, we're sharing very practically the things we've learned. So in terms of purpose and priorities, practically for me, what I've seen to be very powerful, number 1 is my relationship with God. That intimacy and relationship with God, my ability to hear God as a person, as a husband, as a friend, is really powerful. Then it trickles down to my marriage. How are we? Yeah, my ministry starts with you in our marriage. My ministry does not start outside then. And then number 3, my children, our 2 children. How am I being present, intentional to parent them? And then now work. My work is my ministry. That's you understand now. That's what the progression. That's how I've learned to prioritize purpose and put my priorities right. My relationship with God. When I'm okay with God, I'm okay with everything else flows. Then my marriage, my children, and then work and ministry. Yeah. So that's what I've learned. So, and you, Zilani?
I think we've learned the same thing. So for me, it's pretty much the same thing. My relationship with God, because let me tell you, if my relationship with God is not right, I tend to be very edgy and annoying. And then that trickles down also to, our marriage, the kids, just who I am as a person. So just making sure I'm centered on God, carving time to spend time with my Heavenly Father. And then now the next priority is the marriage, my husband. And I like to say that that's my first ministry. And yes, indeed, you are my first ministry. How I treat you, how I love you, how I submit to you, how I serve you, because I can't serve people out there and I'm not serving my husband, right? Okay. Then the third one is the kids, just loving on them, being present. I think one of the greatest needs for children is being present for them. And then now the last thing is work and ministry. Okay, so there's no dichotomy. The work that I do, the work that you do is the ministry that we have. And then now again, like the marriage ministry or the family ministry. So that's, I would say, is the priority.
Yeah.
And so what we've done, I think very practically, is per time per season, when something comes up, we go back to the priority list and see where is this in our priority, and then make a decision based on that. If there's a conflicting, I would say, event or something that needs to be done. And then the work and ministry, that's also where our family is, our friends. Okay, so that's now also where we put our family and friends.
And God is a God of order. You see, when you look at creation, there are things God did in day 1, day 2, and God finished everything and created the right environment and created man on day 6. If man came in day 1,
Yeah.
where would man be? There would be no environment for man. Yeah, so God is a God of order, and God created the man, both male and female, and then the man came out first, and then the woman was pulled from the rib. So God is a God of order. And so in terms of marriage, it's important that we have purpose and we have our priorities right. If they're inverted, there'll be chaos. You know, yeah. There'll be chaos,
Absolutely. And I'm actually remembering the story of Noah. You remember? And God is a God of order. So when they got into the ark, I think, you know, they got in how they got in. But when they came out of the ark, God was very categorical that you need to come out of your ark. You know, Noah and the wife, you know, and then
your sons and
their wives. So there's that order, you know. And I found that to be very, very interesting.
Yeah, and when you do that, you find that you're living for something bigger than yourself. And to not just be, you know, your work, you know, your marriage. You have to. All those components also have to be there. So, like, I like what you say, so that there's no dichotomy. That you are effective in your workplace, in your ministry. Your relationship with God is vibrant. Your marriage and your children, everything is working, and that's the order God, you know, expects for us. Yeah. So that's such a powerful thing we've learned, and by the grace of God, we are praying that we continue.
Yes.
You know, in those, and that has meant, you know, saying no to some of the opportunities, some of the work opportunities outside the country, different towns, or even some work opportunities that would compromise, and, you know, bring the order to be inverted. So we've been able to filter things through that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel there's something that I can also highlight as we bring this to a close. So the other thing we've noticed is that, you know, as we have so many things happening in our world, you know, work, family, kids, one of the biggest things that we drop, you know, just because of how life is. 3 key things that we drop is 1, spending time with God, 2, spending time as a couple, and 3, serving other people. And so, yes, we do have our moments when, you know, life is so overwhelming and you're like, okay, you know what, I honestly don't have time for us to go for a date. I don't have time for us to, you know, connect in this and this way. So learning how to reprioritize and be intentional to spend time with God, spend time with each other, and to serve, you know, to serve outside of, you know, your immediate family, because it really does connect your purpose and, you know, cause you to live for something bigger than yourselves.
Yeah. Thank you. Lesson number 9 coming up.
Okay, thank you. See you.